During COVID, Raleigh experienced a housing surge that very few people anticipated. When the pandemic began, remote work fundamentally changed where people could live. Buyers from across the country, particularly from California and New York, realized they could live anywhere, and Raleigh quickly rose to the top of their lists. They didn't trickle in. They arrived fast and in large numbers. Relocation demand became so intense that Raleigh dropped to less than 1 month of housing inventory. That's an extreme seller's market. Buyers had no choices. Homes were receiving dozens of offers. Buyers were waiving inspections and putting down large, non-refundable deposits and bidding aggressively just to secure a home. Open houses often had lines wrapped around the block. At the same time, interest rates were historically low. In January of 2021, the 30-year fixed mortgage dropped to 2.65. That combination, extremely low inventory, massive demand, and cheap money, created a perfect storm. That market no longer exists. Fast forward to today, and Raleigh has moved into an approximately a 2.5-month supply of inventory. This signals a shift towards a more balanced market after years of extreme shortage. Homes are staying on the market longer, not dramatically longer, but long enough that both buyers and sellers are honestly feeling the difference. So what caused this shift? During the COVID boom, builders expanded rapidly to meet the demand. New construction was popping up across the triangle everywhere, including in areas that historically were not considered prime location. That strategy worked when demand was overwhelming, but today, demand is normalized and growth has slowly slowed significantly. As a result, homes in less desirable locations or homes that are overpriced are now sitting on the market longer. Here's the key point that matters. Not all homes are behaving the same way. Well-located, well-prepared, and properly priced homes are still selling quickly, often in 10 days or less. Meanwhile, the overall market is averaging 40 or more days on the market. That gap tells us exactly how sensitive today's market is to pricing, location, and strategy. And that brings us to what this means for the buyers. The most important shift is simple. Buyers now have choices. And when buyers have options, the entire market dynamic changes. We've moved away from panic buying and into a more thoughtful, strategic environment. Before we go further, a quick note. If you're trying to understand what these changes mean for your personal situation in Raleigh, I work with buyers and sellers navigating this exact market every day. My contact information is below, and I'm happy to walk you through your numbers and then talk about your specific time. Now let's talk about the buyers. Now let's talk about buyers. Here's a question most people aren't asking. With more inventory on the market, what's the smart move? I look at real estate as an investment. For most Americans, their home represents the largest portion of their net worth. A poor decision here can have long-term financial consequences. That's why I consistently advise buyers to purchase the best location they can afford. even if that means a smaller home with fewer features. Location is what holds the value during slower markets and appreciates more quickly during strong ones. When I talk about location, I mean proximity to employment centers like Research Triangle Park, established neighborhoods with mature trees, strong school systems, and areas with consistent buyer demand. Now, some buyers will say, Nancy, I'm not focused on resale right now. I just want my family comfortable until my kids graduate. That's completely valid. But that goal changes how we search and evaluate homes. There are no one size fits all advice, which is why your strategy matters. Right now, buyers are in a unique position. Inventory levels are the highest they've been in years. Sellers are more flexible, and builders are offering incentives that materially impact affordability. Builders don't build homes to live in them. They build them to sell. And when inventory lingers, they adjust the pricing and their incentives. I'm currently working in communities where homes sold later in the neighborhood are priced lower than homes sold at the very beginning of the neighborhood. We're seeing real incentives, not marketing gimmicks, up to $20,000 in flex cash, closing cost credits, rate buydowns, and temporary interest rates as low as 2.9 with a 2-1 buydown structure. These tools directly lower monthly payments or upfront costs. For buyers who are prepared, this is a meaningful opportunity.